Toto, I don't think we're in Kansas anymore.
Hey, welcome back to our Stupid Reactions. I'm Corbin.
I'm Rick.
And we're in a car.
Yeah, and it's raining.
So, if this is weird for you, the tightness of the shot, the lighting, sorry. We just went to our first Indian film since the pandemic happened in a theater experience.
Yep.
Puspa, the Telugu film starring Allu Arjun and sprinkling of Fafa.
A pinch of Fafa.
Just a pinch of Fafa.
Yeah.
So the reason it's right here is because this theater is not really close to Rick or I house,
Right.
and so we wanted to get, and it's also late, and so I wanted to get to you as fast as possible, and so we wanted to do it here so I can just go home and edit and upload, and that would be it. So that's why this is it. If this is weird for you, I'm terribly sorry. This is just, we wanted to get to you as fast as possible. But since it's new, we're going to do mostly non-spoilers.
Mostly non-spoilers.
Mostly non-spoilers, just in case you are going to go watch it and whatever. And then maybe we'll get into some non-spoilers at the end. But it's... I don't know. I don't actually have the IMDb in front of me, so I can't actually... the director
give
is,
directorial and cinematography and all that.
Is I think his name starts with an S. I do apologize.
And is the story creator and screenwriter
Yes.
as well.
But we were very, very excited to see this from the trailers. And I could tell you probably safely that we were both probably pretty disappointed. Rick?
You feel like that?
Yeah.
What makes you say that, Corbin?
Yeah, without, I don't want to give too much away, although there are some parts of it I did like, and I actually enjoyed part of the theater experience, because one of the theater experience, we actually got this for the first time, like when,
whistling and cheering for
Allu
the
Arjun
hero
came
arriving
on the screen, we had people whistling and cheering.
Yes.
They had, like, when he did some cool stuff, stylish moments, that was so, like, I probably enjoyed some moments more than we would if we watched it at home.
Absolutely.
Because
and the
of
sound is better in a theater.
The overall experience with everybody, so that was really cool. And there were some parts I did enjoy, but overall, I think where it fails, you can tell me if you agree, is they marketed this wrong.
Yeah, the trailer doesn't even come close
You
to
thought
showing
this was going to be like RR, like action-packed. I'd say there's less than a fourth action in this entire thing.
Yeah.
It's mostly dialogue or I think, a pointless relationship.
Agreed.
Like, right?
I agree.
And I hate that I had to say that, because I was actually very excited to see this film.
I was too, but I feel like I was thinking that while we were watching it, I was like, I enjoyed the trailer more because I thought the trailer was what this was going to be, and this isn't what the trailer conveys.
They marketed it as almost a KGF.
Right.
And
right.
Actually, towards the beginning, I was actually enjoying it. I was like, okay, cool, we're in for the
Allu Arjun. The first 20 minutes, I was like, okay, here we go.
A big action star.
Yep.
And I actually got this for the first time, because a lot of people talk about this with their favorite stars. They're very stylish, right?
Yes.
Allu Arjun in this, he's nothing but stylish.
It's all style.
Right? And so I was actually enjoying that, and kind of like in KGF, he's very stylish in that, and he does a lot of these over-the-top things. There's no physics, nothing.
Yeah, nothing believable.
But in KGF, like, it's action-packed, and there's a story, and it keeps you engaged.
Correct.
This thing, man, it dragged.
Yeah.
And I just, why would you market it that way? And you could have cut an hour, if not more, out of this film.
It's 3 and feels like 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so disappointing, because I really wanted to enjoy this film.
So did I. I was doing everything I could to try to enjoy it, and then at about the 2 hour and 15 mark, I had given up.
And okay, so that's the piece. It's
as did the guy next to me. He took 3 phone calls during the movie.
He did.
No joke. He was done
100%,
and got up like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah. And so that's probably the biggest issue with this film. One, it's way an hour to an hour and a half too long.
Way too long.
Like, they could have, I think, because there were some good parts. Like, there was some good action parts that I was like, okay, good, let's stick with this. Keep driving with this. And they don't. They just go to some different thing, either with the pointless love interest, or to a bunch of dialogue that I'm like, okay, I thought we already rehashed this part, like, twice already.
Yeah.
And they just keep going back to it. And, like, think you could have cut an hour out, and you could have literally made it like all fun, jungle defying physics fight scenes.
Here's how you could have saved time and money. Cut all of the sequences where you used bad CGI for logs in water. that happened way too much.
Honestly, you could have cut the entire love relationship.
Yeah, we didn't need that.
Even though I thought the actress was good, but it was like almost pointless, the entire thing, and also the relationship was a little problematic. It was a little bit. Like, yeah, it was. I'm not going to give anything away because this is the non-spoilers, but it was like a little strange the way they built this relationship. It was.
It gave me the feeling, and none of them are this long, but like. This will probably be appealing for people who are just fans of this style and of him, in the same way that, like, you could never talk people out of loving Jean-Claude Van Damme or Jason Statham. The fans are dedicated, they love it, and if you don't like it, you're a moron. Yeah. That's what's going to happen with this movie.
Yeah, I definitely say so, but I even think some of the fans that were in there, they were really excited. I feel like a lot of them got bored.
Well, God, there was a lot of getting up.
Yeah, there was a lot of getting up. And
it was quiet.
It was quiet for most of the film, outside of a few moments. And I thought we were going to get a lot more action scenes in this, because that's what it promoted. It almost promoted like it was either KGF or RRR coming.
Yeah, I'd say of the 3 hours, there was probably 25 minutes, if that, of action. Yeah.
And people don't go into John Wick expecting to see a lot of dialogue and acting from Keanu Reeves. They go in to see headshots and some cool stunts.
Yeah.
That's why you go into these films. And so I feel like they didn't know what kind of film they were making. And I know India has these masala films, but I feel like there's got to be a structure to it.
Right.
At least at some point.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, so the things I did enjoy, I thought Allu Arjun and what he did, I thought was like, he did what they wanted him to do.
Yeah.
I thought it could have been a lot better if they would have shortened it and made him just a stylistic star that was kicking ass the entire time.
Right.
But they didn't stick to that.
No, and it was really incongruent, too, to see him be this stylish, kick-ass dude who's quite boyish with... I didn't find it to be charming. I found it to be incongruent when he's around the girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I thought, even though, once again, I thought the story was pointless, I thought the girl did well, and all that. And the songs, they were good. They were like... But it was like here's the issue with a lot of the good parts. By the time they came, I was like, okay.
Exactly. Exactly.
So I was like, the song with Samantha, really sexy song.
Sexy song, great number, and a couple of cool moves in it. But by that point, you're like, one of the credits.
Yeah, and like you had a couple good songs with the girl, and then at the end there was this cool song that I think if we watched it alone, we were like, that's a really cool song.
We would have loved that last thing as a standalone video.
I think they're good songs.
Yeah.
But it's like by the time you get to them, you're like, oh my God. I mean, at least I enjoyed this 5 minutes of the song.
Yeah.
Because, like, it just drags, man. And then by the time we got to Fafa, it's like...
It was like... I was actually hoping when they do the reveal on him, it was just going to be the end.
Yeah.
And then it just continued, and even with Fafa, I was like, oh, great.
Yeah, and they built it up to this second part, and I'm like, why? You literally could have just had the good villain the entire time.
I got to ask a question.
God.
This is a slight spoiler. It's not, because you guys know that this is part 1.
Yeah.
But there's a moment when it said second interval.
Oh, yeah.
I got so scared.
I thought it was in for more.
I thought it's at the end.
Yeah.
Because they want you to know that this is part 1. They're reminding you again. But when it said second interval, I thought, another intermission?
Yeah, totally agree. So, but I thought it's Fafa, right? But they had this weird overdubbing thing, which, I kind of accepted towards the beginning, but that it always takes away from the performances for me. But I wasn't going into this film expecting crazy performances. No. Fafa did well, obviously. Fafa doesn't do bad, but it's like by the time he came on, I was like, well, I wish you were here in like the first 2 hours.
No, it's true. I'm not kidding. Mm-hmm. Daniel Day-Lewis could have walked onto the screen, and I would have went, "Oh, cool. Hope he's not on long."
Yeah, and so, man, it's disappointing.
Yeah,
it's because I wanted to really enjoy this film.
Yep,
I was excited for it. And also even though the cinematography was nice, it didn't come across as nice as it did in the trailer.
Correct.
Like, because I was expecting to be blown away by the visuals the way I am in Sanjay Leela Bhansali kind of films, right? But even though it was nice, it didn't blow me away.
No,
Like,
I remember commenting on how beautiful the lighting was for day shots on the trailer. Didn't convey in the big screen.
yeah, and it was like, it was nice, but it's not. It wasn't like I was expecting to be encapsulated by the visuals.
Me too.
Of it all, and that wasn't there. And
Yeah.
it was. It's weird, man,
Yeah.
and I'm sorry,
Sorry.
If you guys are mad at us for this, and like, you know, we hate Telugu, even though that's not true at all. But it's just
No, but I will say, if that's a particular thing that's the vein, in the same way that I mentioned, like, you have the kinds of films that are a Jason Statham film or a because those aren't just action films, or a Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Yeah.
They're a very particular kind of action film that strains credulity, and
which is fine.
it's fine if that's what you like. I wasn't expecting this to be that kind of movie, so it adds the disappointment.
I would have been totally fine if this was all like the big, like, you know, pushing people 25 feet by, you know, that. I would have actually been totally fine. I was like, okay, I'm in for this, right?
Right.
We're in for the ride. But man, there was barely any of it. It was like they had like an hour of like just boredom in between each thing.
Yeah.
And it was just, it's not what it advertised, and that was just, it was disappointing.
Yep.
It's like if we went into RRR and they barely had any action, I'd be disappointed.
Yeah.
Because what you conveyed to me was that you're going to bring me fun action.
Right.
And that's what I wanted, and it just, that's not what I got.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
Sorry, guys. You can't win them all.
But, you know, let us know what you thought about the film. And if there's... this is our first Allu Arjun film, but he wasn't really the issue with this film.
No,
I
in fact, I don't have any complaints about
No.
him. I think he did what he was supposed to do.
And I thought he was stylish. I
Stylish.
thought he was like... I mean, we actually didn't get a great dance number from him, which I was hoping for.
No, but the dance numbers they were fun.
And, you know, I liked him, but I wish the filmmaking would have helped him in the film of, like, not being 3 hours long.
Yeah.
That could have helped a lot.
A lot.
So,
Yeah.
that's the review,
There you go, guys.
Well, it was our first time. We're actually going to be going to the theaters a lot here in the
Thankfully,
next couple
yes.
weeks with, you know, Jersey 83
and
RRR coming
RRR.
out and all of that. So we're going to be going back to the theater. So that's very,
I was
very
glad to
exciting.
see it was mostly full.
Well, it was mostly full for
mostly
our
full.
little tiny theater.
Yeah, we
even
have
though
a small
Spider-Man
theater.
just came out.
Yeah.
But that was good to see. So let us know what you thought about the film and what should be the next Telugu film that we watch down below.